WWE is gearing up for a massive January 6th version of Monday Night Raw. This is going to be PLE quality. We have right now 3 confirmed matches that are going to take place on top of course, all of the possible returns or debuts that could happen. And some I think are more likely than others. We'll talk about that in just a minute. First, Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan. This match was made official about a week ago by Adam Pearce. And we have now a Women's World Championship match in which I believe it will be the final version of Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. This program should come to an end on January 6th. There's no need to continue this program any further. I think both women have done an excellent job. WWE has done a very good job generally with the storytelling in this program. This one is over. The second match that's going to take place is, of course, the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, versus the self-proclaimed Tribal Chief in Solo Sikoa for the Ula Fala. Who is going to be the Tribal Chief after this match? I think this one is actually going to be a main event for the show because it could have potential return implications, including The Rock. Now, do I think The Rock is set for WrestleMania? I don't. There have been many that have said, including himself, that there may not be a WrestleMania 41 for The Rock. He may not be involved in the storyline heading into WrestleMania 41. If Rock does not appear at that Raw, I think The Rock is not going to appear for WrestleMania season, and he could be back for WrestleMania 42. Will, of course, remain to be seen. The Royal Rumble itself could lend itself to many surprises, as we all know, every single year. But right now, I think you have a strong possibility of The Rock returning at the end of the show. The last time we saw him was January, or rather the Bad Blood event in October. So it's been quite some time where he showed up, and he didn't do a whole lot. He just kind of took off and didn't do much. Said some things backstage. We know Cody and The Rock are eventually going to have a championship match. That was confirmed, all but confirmed, the night after WrestleMania before The Rock left to go do his filming and come back in October. So it has been quite some time, and I think that match eventually will happen with The Rock and Cody. But what happens in that? We don't know. Does The Rock side with Solo? If he comes back, does he side with Roman? Do they finally get to Rock Roman? So many possibilities. Now, third and finally, the match that is confirmed for the January 6th version of Raw is a match that actually many of us expected to be a potential main event last year, semi-main event anyway, in Seth Rollins versus CM Punk. This matchup, the fact that it's happening on a Monday Night Raw that is being treated like a PLE, does make you wonder if this is actually going to be a signal that neither man are going to face each other at WrestleMania. In other words, after this match, they go their separate ways, because I think both men will be involved in the Royal Rumble. And if that's the case, and I think it will be, that means that this match is not going to be as special if they do indeed save it for WrestleMania. Now, sure, they could come back to it. This could be a preview or an appetizer for the main event, so to speak. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I think this is a signal that, hey, we finally got to Seth Rollins and CM Punk. We knew it was supposed to be a match last year. CM Punk wants his WrestleMania main event, and he's not going to get that with Seth Rollins. As good as that match is going to be, as good as the promos have been and will continue to be, you're not going to get a main event match with Seth Rollins because Seth Rollins isn't going to carry the championship anytime soon. I don't think anyway. CM Punk wants his WrestleMania moment, wants his WrestleMania main event, and that I think will happen potentially this year against Gunther. You could have Seth involved in that, but I think it's going to be a WrestleMania with CM Punk versus Gunther. Of course, you could have Seth in the mix, but you could also have Seth versus Roman. If not, you have Seth versus Roman next year if both men are on the same brand. Although we all know WWE doesn't really care if the men and women are on the same brand or not. There is this transfer period, and then there's not. And then people show up with no explanation. No one seems to care. I guess speaking into the void here. But anyway, a massive Raw set, 3 confirmed huge main events for the show. It is going to be 3 hours. It is going to be on Netflix. SmackDown is reportedly going to 3 hours as well. So a hell of a lot of content to consume week after week here as we jump into the new year. We get through one Monday Night Raw, final Monday Night Raw of 2024. And that might be a review show. I'll have to go check. It might be kind of like the yearly wrap up that they do, which would make sense. And then they get into a total reset on January 6th or debuting on Netflix, which is going to be massive. So thanks so much, everybody, for listening. If you want to hear full-length reviews and takes on everything going on in WWE, you can head out over to WWE Podcast on Patreon. We have a page there that everything is ad-free, or you can just head on over to Apple Podcasts, and we also have an ad-free experience there. So thanks, everybody, and I'll catch you in the next one.